What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Woo, it is good to be back. Woo, looks like I made some changes to the GX. I got a new paint job, got new wheels, bumpers. Nah, I'm just kidding, my car's right there. So today we are going to install the Panhard correction kit. Now let me show you guys why we're doing this install. So you see that Panhard bar right there? So normally it's supposed to be pretty flat and level with the floor, but after I lifted it, it dropped it. And the reason why I'm changing is because about a couple weeks ago we went to eat dinner with some of my buddies and we took my car out, and for some reason the people in the back seat were getting sick. They said they felt like I was drifting, like my rear end was kicking out one end every time I hit a bump. So I was thinking, I was like, oh, I need to do the Panhard. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. Let me show you guys what we got. By the way, if you haven't noticed, we are not in my driveway right now. We are actually at MBP's garage. Modded by Phil. If you guys don't know who that is the wizard that tuned the GX. Now, if you guys haven't got a tune yet, if you guys have a 3rd gen Tacoma, 4th and 5th gen 4Runner, or a GX, be sure to hit them up for your tune. But anywho, we are gonna be using Dr. KDSS bolt-on Panhard correction kit. So this is a little unboxing. So you got some nice stickers, little ice cream one, and then this is pretty much it. What's nice is that he made this 100% bolt-on, so you don't need a welder or any of that. So you can do this right in your driveway. And if you are lifted, I do highly recommend you doing this, especially if you have kids and stuff like that, or like passengers that ride in the back. It will make it a little bit more comfortable. Before we get started, let's just start unwrapping some of these things. So it looks like this is hardware right here. So we got 3 pretty beefy ass bolts right here. So we're using that, and I believe this is the little bracket with the weld nut. So this is pretty much what comes with the kit, and this pretty much goes like that. Put the Panhard into this slot and you bolt it in and you're good to go. Alright, I just want to show you guys quickly how it looks like right now. So with the Panhard bar angled like that, actually one side actually sticks out more because it pushes the axle to the right, I believe. And if you can look, I'm going to try to get the same angle. This is my passenger side, and this is my driver's side. Now, I don't think this is that accurate. I mean, I'm pretty sure it is because I just got an alignment, but I don't know how well. But you can already kind of tell that the right side is poking a little bit more. So when you correct that, it should push it back in a little bit and get it back to how it was, or closer to how it was when it was stock. All right, to get started, you only need a couple basic tools. I'll put a list on the screen for you guys, but that's pretty much all you need to get the job done. And before we get started, if you guys haven't already, please hit that like button, subscribe, because it will help me out a lot. And if you guys can, I really appreciate it. But let's get on with the install. So the first step is we're gonna jack up the rear, and then we're gonna put jack stands on the side, and then we can get started. Ooh, now that I have it lifted off the ground, you can kind of get a better idea. All right, so this is the driver's side, and then we're gonna go ahead and show you the passenger side. You can see that the tire sticks out way more on the driver's side right now, because this is what the Panhard look right now. Alright, so the first step is we're gonna go ahead and loosen up the passenger side. Just loosen, we're not gonna take it out. So, can't fit the impact gun in there, so go ahead and grab a longer wrench. Too bad. Way more space on the driver's side, so just get the impact gun, call it a day. So now that we got that bolt off, get a flathead and pop off this ABS line right here. Alright, so I got that popped off. Now we're going to leave that right there. Alrighty, so after you pop off the clip right here, you want to grab this piece right here, and it's supposed to go in like this, but before we put this in, we're going to have to open this up a little bit. So just grab like some pliers. I'm going to try vice grips and just open it up just a little bit. just ever so slight. Ready. So with this one, I'm just gonna hammer it in. Bam. It looks like we are good to go. So after that, the next piece you want to grab is, you want to go ahead and grab this piece right here with the weld nut, and we're going to insert it. The longer side is going to be facing the front of the car, and the nut's going to be on top. So there is a little hole right here, so it's going to go in like this. So you're just going to grab it and just let it chill inside, just like that. Alrighty, so after that, you're going to want to grab this other piece right here, and it's pretty much going to sandwich it like that. He provided us 3 bolts. So there's a short one, there's a medium one, a little slightly longer, and then there's a longer one. So the shortest one is going to be from the bottom. So if I flip this other piece right here, it's going to go in here. And then the medium one with the washer is going to come in from the side right here. And the long one with the nut, it's going to be on top, and this is what's going to be holding your OEM Panhard. Let's start with the side. Might be a little bit easier to start. Alright, get a couple good threads in it. So once you got that, now go ahead and grab the shortest bolt, just a short one, and we're going to go ahead and thread it from the bottom with that bracket with the weld nut. So you're gonna have to fish it, but that's pretty good. Alright, so the next step is you're gonna go ahead and grab your OEM Panhard bolt, and we're gonna bolt it in here, the bottom hole. But before we do that, we're gonna go ahead and add a little bit of Loctite on there. It looks like they did use a red Loctite, but I have the blue one, so for the guys that are doing it at home, I guess make sure you go grab some red Loctite. Alright, you want to get a couple good threads in before you start using the impact gun. Actually, I'm just going to use the wrench. And we're going to go ahead and grab his bolt with the nut, and we're going to use this for the Panhard bar. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go ahead and tighten these 3 bottom bolts, but I'm gonna leave this untightened because you want to tighten it once the car is on the ground, as well as the passenger side when we loosened it. But everything else, we can go ahead and just get it pretty snug. Oh, it looks like these bolts are actually, you need an 18mm socket, so don't forget to get an 18mm socket set and wrench. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go ahead and torque these 3 down first before we drop the car. So according to Dr. KDSS, he says to tighten every bolt to 125 foot-pounds of torque. So go ahead and grab your torque wrench and set it to 125. For that ABS line that you pulled out, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna zip tie it to the hard line right here, and should be good to go. Not too much, just a little bit. And then the last step is to pretty much bring the car back down and go ahead and tighten these two last ones right here and torque it down. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so the back nut is actually, you're gonna need a 21mm wrench to hold it, and then this is an 18mm socket. Okay. 125. 125. All right, so I got this side torqued down. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other side, and we're good to go. Woo, so it is the next day now. As you guys can see, it got a little bit too dark yesterday, but we did finally get it on. And man, my first impressions last night on the road, it definitely feels a lot more stable, because I noticed in the past, every time I would hit a bump or something like that, the car would feel a little unsettled, but I thought that's just the tires, the worn out tires, just catching the grooves on the highway. But yesterday on the way back, it just felt so much more smooth. So let me show you guys what it looks like now. So with the Panhard correction kit, now my Panhard is pretty much perpendicular to the floor, because the idea is you want it as flat as possible. And yeah, it did what it did, and this is probably one of the most pleasant installs I've done on the truck. Super easy, you don't really need that many tools, and it's a pretty short 30-minute install, so that's always very nice. But yeah, I'm very happy with the way it is. But we did forget one last thing. Let's go ahead and mark up the bolts just to make sure that they're not getting loose and stuff like that. And just like that, we are done with the install. Like I said, this is probably one of the most pleasant installs I've done, and it's a very crucial one, especially if you're lifted, because as I stated before, how it comes stock, the Panhard is actually flat, and then when you lift it without doing the Panhard correction, it actually angles it upwards, pushing the axle out towards the passenger side. So if you look at the poke now, this is the passenger side compared to the driver's side. It definitely looks a lot more even now with the Panhard correction kit, because it leveled out the Panhard, bringing the axle back in towards the center. If you guys are interested in the Dr. KDSS bolt-on Panhard correction kit, I'll have links in the description below. I definitely recommend anyone that's lifted to do this mod if you haven't done it already. The car definitely feels a lot more settled. Before, I didn't really care about it much until my rear passengers got sick. So your rear passengers will definitely appreciate it, and the car will definitely feel a lot more stable on-road and off-road. In off-road, there are weird scenarios where it'll prevent you from tipping over to one side, since the axle is pushed out on one side. So it'll give you a little bit better balance, but like I said, it's in certain scenarios where you're three-wheeling and one of your front tires lift up. But I'm not gonna say it's gonna 100% prevent it, but it's definitely gonna help it. So definitely do the Panhard correction kit, and Dr. KDSS has it bolt-on, so you can definitely do this with basic tools in your driveway if you don't have a welder. So anyways, if you guys like this video, please hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.